Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we have a sketchbook tour. I completed the sketchbook last week and I figured it'd be fun to flip through it, reflect on some of the work that I've done and how that's come to fruition in different ways, and just share what I've been up to. Basically, I feel like I haven't really been active on YouTube, and I haven't really been sharing what's been going on. Good things are going on, but and also get a chance to kind of like share with you guys what's been going on, what I've been working on, and yeah, let's just get right into it. I completely forgot how to talk to a camera, so apologies for the awkwardness, but let's open this up. So yeah, I started this December 23rd, 2025, and I finished it May 19th, 2026. So that's about 5 months. I was trying to fill it more frequently, like finish it by the end of March, but that did not end up happening, but that's okay. The sketchbook that I'm in currently, I'm really hoping to like get through it a little bit faster, because I find that if I'm sketching more regularly, I feel more creative and I feel like I reach my goals. It feels more fulfilling. So yeah, the goal for this one is to maybe finish it in 3 months. We will see. But yeah, let's just get started. So I still have been continuing my drawing everyday routine, and a lot of the times, because of like work and life, it's often just like a little sketch or like just like a little doodle in my sketchbook to just kind of document the day and to just at least put something down on paper every single day. So here we have, this was a study from an art museum I went to, and some Paolo doodles and another character from the comic that hasn't been introduced yet, but very soon. This sketchbook actually includes a lot of sketches referencing my comic Y2K Witch. I started posting it this year. It's over on Tapas. If you are interested in fantasy and Y2K fashion and technology, I would highly recommend checking it out if you want. But yeah, there's a lot of artwork regarding that story in this sketchbook. Drawing of my dog, then a portrait sketch of my partner, so that was fun. You'll notice in the sketchbook that there's a lot of pencil sketches. Pencil is just very comfortable for me, and it's not until the end where I start to branch out with color again, but yeah, so it's a lot of pencil sketching, a lot of just like really rough ideas put in here. Some more Paolo doodles. I have this, I'm pretty sure this is canon, but his full-time job is basically working at a pet shop, so I thought it would be fun to draw him in like a fish outfit, advertising the pet shop. And then we have some Fiona doodles, some pencil doodles. I still really like this. I would love to turn this into like a full illustration. Cool. Some more Fiona doodles. I think I was drawing some vintage cakes. I may still return to this idea, but I had this idea of like smashing a really like decadent cake with a flail. And then we have some doodles of my dog Merlin, just being his weird goofy self. I think I drew this from life when he was on the couch one evening. He doesn't do this anymore because he's a teenage dog, and my life is a living hell with him right now, but soon. Just gotta reach the 2-year mark and then he'll actually calm down. But yeah, I really enjoyed adding in this colored pencil. I think I noticed with this sketchbook, I was starting to use it more like how I used to use it in high school. Kind of a little bit more relaxed, and adding in different mediums like color pencil to try and bring in some color, because I feel like so much of the work I do right now that is like finished work is digital, and that's stuff for my mail club, that's some client work I've been doing, that's my personal like projects like Y2K Witch. So it's been nice trying to delve back into traditional work and like add a little bit more finish to my traditional drawings. This is when I started posting Y2K Witch publicly, January 9th. So I was doing some like celebration doodles of the characters, and I've still been posting it over on Tapas. So if you guys want to go read it, I'll have it linked below. But yeah, that was super exciting. Just some pen doodles. Some more sketches of Merlin. Yeah, he doesn't do this anymore. Like, he doesn't sit still enough for me to draw him, so I miss these days, but soon we will get back to that. Some more drawings of my partner. That's us together. I still really love this drawing of us. It's really silly. Some more Merlin doodles. Yeah, he's a weird guy. I was just experimenting with like different styles and just playing around with how I want to draw him. My local like arts resources, I guess, like I don't live in a big city, so it's been difficult finding like either like cheaper alternatives to a college course or just like anything at all, but maybe one day, we'll see. Or I just move. Some more Fiona doodles. And then here we have some doodles, and here we have some sketches for like the concept of like this house orb acting as like a house phone for Fiona in her world. This shows up in the comic like in the first couple pages. But yeah, I was just doodling out like different designs for it and different stands for it, like the classic wizard or witch like pondering their orb. I thought it could be fun to include it in the story as like a functional like normal device for a character to use. Some Palo doodles and Merlin, again, he's everywhere in the sketchbook. Some more Merlin doodles. We moved during this sketchbook, so that's also why things kind of stalled out a little bit with filling it, because moving takes so much time and energy. Some more Fiona doodles, and I think this was a sketch for the February Mail Club print rewards. Does it show it here? Yeah, I'll show it on screen, but this is like a beginning sketch for what it ended up being the print design for February. Some more Palo doodles, just having fun exploring his character, and then some plushie drawings. And then these drawings were the beginnings of an idea for a zine that I made back in February. I'll have it on screen here, just like a couple pages of it. But it was just exploring this idea of like plushies and like the comfort that they bring and how they kind of take care of us in a way. So that was I still really like that zine. Another Merlin doodle, some angsty Fiona and Palo, and then some like kind of more like emo concepts of Fiona over here. Some more sketches for the plushie zine. I just was exploring some different poses for the zine, and how I don't really draw characters in bed that often, so it was just exploring different poses of like someone being sleepless, basically. Some more Merlin doodles. This one, I wanted to draw him as Link because a lot of the times when we crate him for the day when we're both working, we'll leave some Zelda music on. So I like to think that sometimes he dreams of like fighting off monsters and exploring a world as Link, and I just thought it would be funny to draw him in Link's outfit. And speaking of dreams, I've completely rebranded my Snail Mail Club this summer, so I am very excited to introduce to you the Primrose Evening Post. The Primrose Evening Post is my monthly snail mail club all about dreams and exploring them through drawing and painting. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always had really vivid, symbolic dreams, and they have continued to inspire and influence my art to this day, whether it be through small sketches, full paintings, or through my comics. So each month I design a themed print and sticker sheet based off my current dreams, and also include a little letter reflecting on my dreams and how I convey them through my art. If that sounds cool to you, sign up for the Primrose Evening Post today for $10 a month to get your monthly dose of dream-inspired art. And this includes a 5x7 art print, a sticker sheet, and my themed dream letter. July's theme is inspired by a reoccurring dream I have and how I continue to process it through journaling and art making. And these designs are only available until July 15th, so make sure to sign up before they're gone. These were some doodles of Fiona and Palo for Valentine's Day, which ended up being like a colored digital illustration, so I'll put that on screen now. But yeah, that was super fun. I don't draw characters kissing that often, so I had to practice a little bit before doing it. And another awkward Merlin sketch. Some more Merlin doodles, Fiona and Palo again. And then some, I think I was watching the Winter Olympics and it was the snowboarding, it was like the snowboarding like semifinals or something like that. And I really liked a lot of their fashion, like big baggy pants and like baggy clothes. And I thought it'd be fun to draw Fiona in some like early 2000 like snowboarding outfit. Some more fashion exploration. I think a lot of these were based off of some like Pinterest photos, and I was just just basically playing dress up and exploring these different different designs. And I think this one ended up being in the comic. There's like a costume change page, and I think it's like an outfit sort of like this. I think it's a little bit different, but it ended up being in the comic, so that's cool. Some drawings of Steve, and then at the cafe that we go to sometimes there's a violinist that plays, so it was cool getting to sketch her. Again, taking advantage of strangers to get better at life drawing because I can't afford classes. Some more Paolo drawings, and then like this wintry Fiona. I think it was like really cold at this point in the year. Yeah, February, which was very uncharacteristic for Florida, but yeah. And then some more of this character that has not been introduced yet, but very soon, very soon. Some more, I think this is more so what Fiona's outfit ends up being in the comic, at least for now. I think, except it's pants. I don't think she's wearing shorts. I think it's pants. So yeah, that was a really fun sketch to do. I enjoyed that. Some more doodles of Fiona, and then a little Paolo up there. I like this idea of him carrying around a little notebook because I do that as well, and all of my OCs are different parts of myself, so yeah, I thought it'd be fun if he just like wrote down little notes. These were some very not great Tangled sketches. I have this idea of a Tangled illustration I want to do. I haven't gotten to it yet, but they don't look anything at all like this, but I was just doodling out some vibes and ideas. This little thumbnail over here ended up being the chapter 1 comic cover for Y2K Witch, which I have a speed paint of and a little explanation of on my channel, and I had a lot of fun with it. This concept of her being in the cloud was really fun. And then some more angsty Fiona doodles. I really like this hoodie drawing of her. Life doodles. I was probably not feeling too great that day, and I think we were just doing a bunch of errands, probably getting groceries. These are some doodles inspired by the graphic novel Seconds. I just finished reading it and I really loved the story. Definitely recommend it. So I think it's the main character Katie, and then that's Hazel, and then I think I drew a list. Yeah, so yeah, that's a really fun story. I definitely recommend reading it. And then here are some concept sketches for a sticker seal that I was designing for my my snail mail club. I think I ended up going with this design because I was just trying to personalize the whole experience a little bit more, and I think I was inspired by another mail club, so yeah. And then these drawings ended up being the design that I put on my shop envelope. So like when someone orders something from my shop, this is printed on the envelope because I wanted to theme it all and tie it together with Fiona. And this was just like a little, I think I referenced the pose from Pinterest. I believe it was like I believe it was Cleo from H2O in this pose, and I just turned it into Fiona, and I just really liked it. It was cute. These are some Joe Curie sketches and doodles. I really liked his hair that he had for the Stranger Things press tour. It was like this kind of frosted tips mohawk, and I was like, that's perfect. So I was just sketching it out. Some more Merlin drawings, just him being his mischievous self. These are just some pen doodles and a Paolo. Probably not feeling that inspired that day. Some more Merlin doodles. Usually when I don't know what to draw, I usually just end up drawing him nowadays, just because he's so weird looking and he's fun to draw. These sketches were an idea for a Fiona Paolo like werewolf AU, where Fiona's a werewolf and she's like trying to hide it from him. And this whole idea of like, oh, my girlfriend is a werewolf and like taking care of her. I just thought it would be a really fun idea, and that werewolf idea ended up bleeding into the mail club, and I did a whole like wolf girl theme for, I think, for April. I'll put it on screen now. So that was really fun. That's like one of my favorite designs. This was me venting about Microsoft Excel because I think I was doing my taxes or working on them, and I just was just like, dude, I lose so much time just being in Excel. I get lost in it, and I get time blindness, and it's over. And then here are some Gideon doodles. I guess I've never talked about this on the channel yet, but I read all of the books in 2025, and I have yet to actually make fan art for it because I love it so much. I don't know if you guys get this this way, but sometimes when I like something so much, it's hard for me to make any sort of fan art because it's just like nothing's gonna reach my expectations or match my vision. But I definitely need to make some fan art of them. I love the Lock Tomb series so much. It's so good. Oh my gosh. But yeah, just some doodles of them together. This was me planning out a quarterly newsletter zine that I ended up doing for my mail club in March. And just planning out different like drawing ideas I had for it. And then here's some more of that like werewolf AU with Fiona and Paulo. Of course, it wouldn't be a sketchbook without drawing some ponies. I think this is my pony Sona and my sister's pony Sona, so very cute. And then me and Steven as ponies, and then Fiona and Paulo as ponies. So just had to get that out of my system, and then we get back normal. Here were some Merlin puppy doodles. We never got him that young as a puppy, but I thought it'd be cute to like kind of like puppyify him and doodle him like that. And then a little LPS version of him. And then another Fiona doodle. This is for an idea that may or may not be happening in the comic. We will see. That's another thing why I haven't shared my sketchbooks in a while. A lot of the stuff was either planning for Y2K Witch that I didn't want to spoil yet, I guess, or just like ideas that I'm not ready to share yet. But I feel like now it's been like months and like years for some of these sketchbooks where I'm just like, oh yeah, I could share it now. But yeah, that's the issue going forward. I feel like a lot of my sketchbook may contain concepts. I try and divide like my comic planning into a separate sketchbook that I have and use that, and try not to put like spoilery stuff in my like personal sketchbook that I may or may not like share with people. So that's my method moving forward, but there's still a chance of things to like bleed into some of these pages. Here are some concepts of that wolf girl idea I was talking about. I was also really in an Animal Jam mood, so that's what the partial inspiration was. Some more wolf girl concepts. It did not end up looking like this. It was a little bit more like scene kid, like deviant art vibes rather than this, but I still really like this idea and the concept. Yeah, some more of the wolf girl, some butterfly sketches. And then some more Merlin doodles and some more Fiona. See, I feel like this is vague enough where you can't tell what could have happened. So I can share it. I participated in a plein air painting competition and I ended up winning Judge's Choice, so that was really cool. I'll show the paintings on screen here. But yeah, this sketchbook is also a point where I started to do plein air painting again, and I think I do plein air April during this sketchbook, so there may be some sketches regarding that. But anyways, this was some like shop preparation and designing. I think I was like designing my website. Here's an emo doodle, and then some more Merlin doodles. I love this Merlin sketch. I want to turn this into a painting, but I haven't gotten a chance to do it. But he was just acting so goofy in the yard one day, and I snapped this picture, and I just love his arms and legs just flailed out. It's so cute. Here we have some Paulo doodles, and this is like another AU where Paulo is a cyborg and Fiona's a technician of sorts. Steven sketch, and then some pen doodles, and then this was some concepts for a comic page that has already been released, so you can read it now. But this is like a part where Paulo is like falling into this new sort of like dream imaginary world sort of, and I originally wanted him to say this, but I was just like, I'm gonna tone it down a little bit for the comic, make it a little bit easier on some audiences. But yeah, see, yeah, here we have some like prep for plein April. I was just doing some value studies. And then more of the wolf girl. And I remember looking back on this drawing and I'm like, wow, that is an incredibly long shin. Holy moly. Oh wait, I don't think I could show this page. Okay, I'm gonna blank this page out. Yeah, so like I said, there's some like spoiler content for Y2K Witch, and I don't think I'm ready to share this yet, but patrons may see it sooner. Yeah, it's a bunch of characters that we haven't met yet, so I guess you guys will just have to wait and see when that comes out. Here we just have some like Fiona vent drawings and some cute doodles of her. And then this was also the time where I started watching Twin Peaks. And this is supposed to be a drawing of Dale Cooper. I don't think it looks like him at all. But Twin Peaks, yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say. I ended up finishing the show and watching Fire Walk with Me, and it changed my life, I think. yeah, I'd never seen any sort of like David Lynch film or show or project, and that just like sent me on a spiral of watching a lot of his stuff, and I've been really inspired by his work because it has so much to do with dreams and like the surreal, and that's so much of what I want Y2K Witch to be. So it's been very inspirational. This was a sketch for an Addison Rae illustration that I really want to do. I really love her self-titled album because it has this sort of like dreamy, weird Y2K energy that also has been very inspirational for Y2K Witch. So I wanted to kind of commemorate it through an illustration, and I'll place the finished illustration on screen. But yeah, I like how it turned out. Cute. And then another Merlin doodle. This was actually a study for a painting that I ended up doing for Plan April. I'll show it on screen, the finished painting. But yeah. I was trying to figure out Addison's likeness, and I was really struggling with it until like this drawing. I feel like that looks like her, and these look like her as well. Some more Merlin doodles. That he just has like these gorgeous neck rolls, and I love them so much. But this drawing of him like 100% like captures his likeness, and I still love this drawing. Some more Addison doodles. These definitely look more like her, and I was just doing some practice for the final illustration. Another Merlin doodle. It's a very round tummy. He's about like a year and a half right now, so he's 18 months, and he's definitely in that teenage phase of growing up and just being an absolute like pain to deal with a lot of the times, but he's still so cute, and that's why I draw. Some more of those wolf girl concepts. And then here I was planning on some like the book illustration projects because I wanted to start getting into some potential like book illustration work this year, and kind of like diversify the things that I'm working on. And I read The Wolf and His King by Finn Longman earlier this year, and I want to develop a cover for it. I want to develop a new like cover illustration for it. And hold on, let me get some more in here. Yeah, this is me developing that cover, and I'll show the finished version on screen, but I like how it turned out. It's cool. I was really inspired by Hildegard von Bingen, which that was a really cool discovery as well, because she's a really interesting historical figure. She was like a physician, a musician, like she was like a nun in STEM basically, and it was really interesting to read about her history and kind of put some of her, to be inspired by a lot of her like paintings and illustrations and put it into this piece, because this story kind of takes place during like a somewhat like historical like fantasy version of that time period. So I kind of wanted to tie it into history a little bit. Yeah, let's go back here. Here are some more of the this is closer to what the final illustration ended up being. I went with just doing a portrait for the print, and I really like how it turned out, and I really liked how the accompanying sticker sheet turned out. That turned out really cute. And then here's some like random doodles and plannings and ideas, and then some just like life doodles because probably things just got really busy, and this is all that I could draw. And yeah, the book illustration project. And I also want to I also like still plan to do like an end paper illustration for it, which people ended up really liking that that cover illustration, and I think that's how I was able to get a job like a couple months ago because of it. So yeah, that was cool to be able to just like post it and for someone to see it and want to like hire. Yeah, so I still want to do an end paper illustration for this story because I have a really cool idea I want to try out to try and like push my skills a little bit more. I was probably packing mail club stuff that day, and then I started conceptualizing this Lady of the Lake AU with Fiona and Paolo. That's still kind of wishy-washy right now, but I have some digital work that I can show on screen of what that looks like right now. And also I painted like another like mock book cover for them, so that was cool. Some ugly Merlin drawings. Another Lady of the Lake AU drawing that I really like, and I'd love to turn this into a digital painting. Oh, here is some Shrek fan art because Shrek turned 25 this year. Shrek and I almost share a birthday, so this was kind of like my birthday treat to myself to draw something Shrek related because I love Shrek. I love the Shrek films, and I just wanted to commemorate it through some artwork because I had never drawn fan art of it. Once again, I have this like weird thing, if I like something too much, it's really hard for me to create fan art because it's just hard to like just like put all of that emotion into one piece and not like disappoint myself, I guess. But I think it's better to do it than to not do it, so I just need to get over myself. Here are some more Merlin doodles, and then it was Homestuck Day, so happy Homestuck. I have a Homestuck sketch that I'm still working on to celebrate Homestuck Day, but I'm literally almost 2 months late with posting it, or finishing it rather. We'll see if it ever gets completed. Here we have some more Twin Peaks doodles. I was trying to figure out Dale Cooper's likeness. I was kind of struggling a bit. For some reason these days heads have been really difficult for me to draw, and I think it's because my eye is getting better and I'm seeing a lot of flaws in what I'm drawing, and it's really difficult because like I can't always like visualize how to change it or immediately know what to fix, but we will get through it. Some more Twin Peaks stuff, some Laura Palmer. I have this Laura Palmer idea that one day I will get to, maybe not. I don't like this sketch, but yeah, some more Shrek fan art of us developing a Fiona piece, which I think is on the next page. Yeah, this ended up being a little painting that I did to celebrate the 25th anniversary, and it came out really cute. I really enjoyed working on it. And then another Fiona doodle and a little donkey and a little Shrek, very cute. And then I have this idea, maybe I will have completed it by the time this video comes out, but I really love this concept of Doris from, I think she first appears in Shrek 2, but Doris kissing like this bust of Prince Charming, and I really love this idea. I think it's super cute. I love Doris, so I wanted to create some Doris fan art because she's one of my favorite characters. I'm gonna cover this one because it's just like a really bad sketch. I feel like sketchbooks are a great safe place to just make really bad things and then just refine it later. But there's some things that I'm just too embarrassed to show. It's a really bad sketch. This was a drawing inspired by, I think it was Addison Rae's, like one of her Coachella outfits. I just really loved this like long flowy tulle that was like completely like ridiculous, but it was really fun to look at, and it was just cool. So I wanted to draw it. I've been trying to keep my sketchbook as kind of like a idea bank and like visual library bank. When I see something I really like, I just copy it down in my sketchbook, and then so when I flip through my sketchbook later, I can be like, oh yeah, I really like that. Let me put that in an illustration somewhere. I think it's been really helpful with like staying inspired and just like enjoying drawing and just drawing things that I like. This was another Addison Coachella outfit. It was really weird, but I just wanted to draw it because it was so strange, and there's like these weird fringes on her arm, so I just thought it was cool. And then some Merlin doodles. These are some like really rough sketches as well. I don't think I'll even show these. Yeah, they're really bad. This was a little sketch doodle of Olivia Rodrigo and Addison. I think Addison brought her out during one of her Coachella stages, and they were both like their outfits just were very like fairy-like to me, so I wanted to draw them with fairy wings. I was struggling through Plan April. I was just like, okay, this is getting hard to just paint outside every day, but I managed to get through it. And I'll show some paintings on screen right now. I'll show my favorite ones. Maybe I'll do a whole video about all of my paintings from Plan April, but yeah, I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. But here's another Paolo doodle. I think what I like to do before I work on my comic typically is spend a little bit of time just doodling characters to kind of like get me in the mode of like thinking about the story again, because so often I'm like working on other projects or working on like the boring like admin stuff of what I do, and it's hard to just like jump right into the story again. I kind of have to like ease my way into it. Here is a sketch of what ended up being the May rewards for my mail club. I was doing a unicorn theme for May, so I was drawing a lot of unicorns and trying to figure out what I wanted the piece to look like. I ended up going with this really cute like vintage fairy tale vibe for it, and I really want to keep some of those elements for my like own like personal like Y2K witch work. I think that could be really cool. Here we have some more Fiona doodles. I went to a local art market, and then I had my birthday, so that was fun. I was daydreaming about potentially going to my first convention and selling stuff, but we will see. I feel like I'm doing so many things right now where it's hard to think about that, but maybe one day. Here we have some like Fiona clown doodles. I think this was inspired by a Pinterest outfit, and I just wanted to draw it because it looked really fun. Some more unicorn doodles. doodles. Yeah, this is where I really started to add in more color again to my sketchbooks. I got out my color pencils again, was just like doodling the vibe that I wanted to achieve with this piece. Yeah, more doodles. This is kind of like what the sticker ended up looking like. I'll show it on screen now. But yeah, this like epic unicorn pose. No, actually it ended up being like this. That's more like how it ended up being. I completed Plein Air April. Yay. It was really fun, but it's difficult to paint outside every day when you are also trying to make money and not like completely abandon all your responsibilities. But yeah, it was fun. And then here is a sketch of that Lady of the Lake concept, which this ended up being like a digital illustration that I'll show on screen. A little digital sketch that I turned it into, but yeah, I really liked how that turned out. Here we really start to have fun with the color pencils. Just some like vibe kind of stuff. I typically just look for like fun design things on Pinterest. And like I was saying before, I really like to just grab things and just put them in my sketchbook so that later I can turn back on it and be like, oh yeah, I want to turn that into a sticker. Or like, I like this design motif, I'm gonna put it into this painting, or I like this patterning, I'm gonna put it over here. Like truly using your sketchbook as just like a catalog rather than a place for like finished artwork, I feel like is so much more useful for myself and how I really plan to use my sketchbook moving forward, because I really can't afford to just like spend so much time in my sketchbook when so much of my work is what supports me, and usually that's like digital stuff. So yeah, I think this is a better way for me to use my sketchbook and to still have fun with it. Some more Harrow and Gideon sketches, Fiona, and then like this Fiona illustration concept that I don't really like how it turned out, but I like this idea a lot. This is a bunch of like planning stuff that I don't really want to share. This is actually really funny. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a letter missing here. And I did the classic thing when you shouldn't get overly focused on each individual letter because you're gonna forget one. This is me trying to like redesign my shop website. I still really haven't gotten a chance to like fully like rebrand it, but I've been in the process of moving my mail club from Patreon to my shop just for easier management. And it's now called the Primrose Evening Post. I'll have a link to it down below. But I was trying to go for like more of this like Y2K kind of swirly, but mixed with like a fantasy medieval like manuscript type font. And yeah, that's how we ended up with sketches. So that's definitely not going to be the final version, but hopefully soon I'll have like this more total rebrand. Another day of packing the mail club orders. I was doing a lot of like business, like boring like design stuff. And then here is a Fiona sketch with some unicorns. I really like how this turned out. I've also been really trying to focus on drawing forward-facing portraits because I am so bad at it. Like, I think in general, I really need to practice like facial proportions because I'm not 100% happy with how I draw things right now. And I think I really struggle with like placement on the face. So I've been having to like go back a lot and like restudy facial structure and like skull structure and kind of like bring that back into my work because I think I've either like forgotten a little bit or gotten rusty from just like not drawing as much, or just like, I don't know, just getting lazy. So I need to go back to that. Some more colored pencil stuff. I really had fun with doodling this. It's been a blast incorporating color pencil and color back into my sketchbook and just like having fun with like these weird designs. And I'm hoping to take a lot of this back into the comic and kind of just like stylize things a little bit more and make it a bit more well themed, I guess. Another color pencil like illustration exploration type thing. Yeah, I was having a lot of fun with like building up color and playing around with like negative space. Some doodles of just like cute creatures. This is one of the characters in my comic. And then these little guys are also in the comic, but they're from a sticker sheet that I made for my mail club. And I just wanted to put them in to make the page a little bit more cute, I guess. Here is a colored pencil drawing of my dog. I was just trying to experiment with color and temperature, and that was fun. And I think this is like, we're coming up on the last couple pages. These are some pen ideas of a Tangled illustration that I really want to do. One day I will get to it, at least before the new movie comes out, which don't even get me started. But this, yeah, I really like this idea of Rapunzel with Maximus. I love a girl and a horse like combo, like yes, horse girls. Then another Merlin doodle, and then some ideas for like Charlie XCX illustration that I really want to do. And then some more Merlin doodles of him just being weird. And then here was, I was just breaking down my painting process for a potential instructor position at a local arts center. So yeah, that was fun. Some more Dale Cooper. I still don't know how to draw him. I'm struggling, guys. I'm struggling. But I just need to practice more. Yeah, this is like the final page in the sketchbook. Just like this weird kind of surreal designy portrait of Fiona. Again, like practicing that frontal portrait. And I was learning about in dreams, there's a stage of hypnagogia, and it said that when you are entering a dream, you either see tunnels, spirals, lattices, or like a honeycomb, or cobwebs. Me personally, I don't ever remember the beginnings of my dreams, so I found this really interesting, and I think it would be really cool to incorporate this in a lot more like paintings and concepts of Fiona in her world. So yeah, I just wanted to note that down for future reference. But yeah, this is another fun color pencil piece. And then that's the end. Yeah, that's it. That's the end of the sketchbook. I had a lot of fun using the sketchbook. It was a great change of pace from the larger sketchbooks I had been using for like 2 years, it feels like. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys sticking around. I know this is some more of my like popular video style, and it's for good reason. I like sketchbook tours too. But like I mentioned towards the beginning of this year, I think in my like trust yourself video or whatever it was labeled, something emo like that, this sketchbook was definitely tapping back into a way that I used to create that I really missed. And I kind of lost that due to content creation and like just like having a really weird relationship with my artwork, where I always felt like art had to be for a specific video, and I couldn't just focus on making the art. I had to focus on like making a video up about it, or making like a cool like topic about it, or something like helpful. Like that just became very stressful, and I feel like I'm finally in a place where I have a little bit more of a balance, and much more of my time is actually spent creating, which makes me a lot happier versus like most of the time I was just stuck at my computer editing and didn't get to work on my artwork at all. So yeah, I feel like I'm in a much better place. And I'm very like fortunate to have found some like illustration work on the side and got to work on some cool projects that I can't share at all yet. Just have to wait a couple months. But yeah, I feel like I'm in a lot better place mentally with my artwork, and I really appreciate you guys sticking around and kind of giving me that space and like respecting that space. And I hope that you guys are feeling the same, and I hope that this video was inspiring and it got you to open up your sketchbook. I know that even just me looking back at the past stuff that I've done, it helps me to remember what I really like and what I want to return to, and old ideas that I still want to complete. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully more of these are coming soon, probably in the next couple of months, because I have 2 other sketchbooks that I have not shared at all publicly. I've only really posted scans of on my Patreon, so hopefully those are coming soon. And if you'd like to support my artwork, support my comic, and whatever else I end up doing, you can check out my Patreon down below, or you can join my new mail club. And yeah, that's it for me. Yeah, all right. Take care of yourselves, guys. Drink some water, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye.